Hello everyone, I am Ergün Ay ÖZDİLKURAL. Today I'm gonna talk about the Thinking Fast and the Slow by the Daniel Kahneman. About Daniel Kahneman. Daniel Kahneman is born in Mark 5th, Mark 5, and 1934, Tel Aviv, and he is an Israeli-born psychologist, recipient of the Nobel Prize for the Economics in 2002 for his integration of the psychological research into the economic science. I'm going to talk about the two systems. System 1 is the fast, automatic, frequent, emotional, stereotypic, and conscious system. And the system 2 is the slow, effortful, integrated, logical, calculating, and consequences system. System 1, for example, you determine that the object is greater distance or than another. And solve is 2 plus 2. What is 2 plus 2? And read the textbooks on the billboard. And it's generally making fast, automatic, and or the emotional things. You can read also from here for some examples. And the system 2 is more complicated and slow, effortful, integrated, logical, and calculating things. For example, prepare yourself to start a sprint. Direct your attention towards the clowns at the circus. Direct your attention towards someone at the loud party. Look for a woman with the gray hair. Try to recognize a sound. Solve an 17 plus 42. 17 times 42. Sustain a faster than normal walking rate. Determine the appropriateness of the particle behavior in the social settings. System 2 is more complicated and slow. You know, this when we think about the normal, not normal things, it's going to be system 2. But if we make it automatically, for example, drive a car on the empty road, you don't think anything and then you just drive. You don't make an effort on that. And the disgust phase. Disgust phase, you experience it disgust, and that is getting to be interesting because those feelings are the reciprocally reinforced. So if you make a disgust face, you are more likely to feel disgust. If you make a smile face, you are more likely to think that things are funny. So you know the one of my favorite experiments along the, one of the Daniel Kahneman favorite experiments. This experiment is the along times lines is you take a pencil and you took into the mouth like that, and you watch a cartoon will appear the funnier to you. Because when you stick a pencil up to your mouth like that, you make a smile, and the just sheer the muscular change is enough to feed back into your emotions and feelings. This is all fairly important, and add something he is. I think the system one is the largely in the terms of the what happens associated memory. To think of the associative memory, you can think of a gigantic networks of ideas, and the idea are linked each other in the various way. Associatedly, some of them are causes of the other things or categories. Example of instance of. There is many different links, but you have a huge responsibilities of the of what we have the mind. And at the one of time simultaneous occurs, it activates the subset of those nodes in the responsibility of the memory, and then the activation spirits throughout the associative network. Not a lot, but the spirits some. For example, if somebody whispers your word in your ears, you would much more likely to detect and recognize the word. It's like a sickness or and smells, instincts or nausea and hangover. And then associative memory. Associative memory, or the system one, is also very pository about the world knowledge. So when the events occur, um, our reaction is the informed by the a lot of things that well known. And I will give you for Daniel Kahneman. Daniel Kahneman favorite example of this. This is the people of listening science while the events, their brains are recorded, and the upper class male British voice says, I have a large tattoo, and I have a lot tattoos all my back. And they experimentally 3 to 10th, tenth of the second later brains respond with the characteristically surprise. This is astonishing if you stop thinking about that. Was that voice have the classified and upper class British voice? Now upper class British men don't have a tattoos down back their back. Something is odd, and you get surprise reaction. You get mobilization of the system 2, because the system 2 is the one of the that pay attention. Surprise calls attention, uh, and the surprise calls take an attention here. A male voice saying, "I believe I'm pregnant," of course, the same thing. As much as British men have tattoos, things. Upper class British men. Then the causal thing. A causal thinking. I want to give you some the how it's sense how it works. So it's question which more is probable that the mother has blue eyes if her daughter has a blue eyes, or her daughter has blue eyes if her mother has a blue eyes. Now again, as a bat, as the bat and the ball, there is an intuitive response, and the intuitive response is the more probable that a daughter has blue eyes if her mother has blue eyes than the other way around. If you stop to do maths on the assumption that inclusive of the blue eyes is the same two generation, the probabilities are strictly equal even before the math. Your reasoning flows along the causal lines. That is confidence that we experience is a judgment of probability. Then the mechanism of the substitution. A mechanism of the substitution. Substituting an easier question for a hard one. It happens automatically, and the people are aware that it's happened. It's a source of the many institutions that do not come from the expertise, and they are much less likely to be correct than the institutes that come from expertise, but they come to equal the confidence just. So, so there are several mechanisms that the part situation, and I will look like to show them. And the mental shotgun. Mental shotgun is the when you are the instincts to perform an operation, you typically perform the other operators as well as the relatedly is associatively are the earlier to the target operations, but they are different. As the example, civil says sort, and you are so judge as quickly possible when the words of read or not. And the first pair of the words what not, that's easy. The second pair of the words question is what got, and the what got is substantially harder than the what no. And the dating heuristic. Students are asked in survey how they are you and the other many dates did you have the last month. And if you ask the question in the other two correlation is zero, turns out there's many things in the life that determines the happiness, and the dating is not particularly important. You interview the order. So you ask the people how many dates did you have a last month, and how happy are you with your life as whole. Coloration is the 0.66. And the marshmallow test. You ask a child, did he or she want one marshmallow now, or you can have to if you wait 15 minutes. And the result is 50 minutes, you can too. Um, and the result it has been all observed of the children who has necessary patience and buy two marshmallows are generally more successful in their lives. And thank you for the listening to me.